Hello there, it's Amy with Sugar Hill Art Studio, and welcome to watercolored root vegetables. All right, so I love root vegetables. That signifies the fall for me, almost more than pumpkins. Yes, I dare said that parsnips, carrots, beet greens, and root vegetables remind me more of the fall than pumpkin spice latte. All right. Anyways, let's start the fall off with root vegetables. Here I have a carrot. I am using some of my Aussie Gold and a medium cad orange to kind of get the basics shape down for my carrot. Now the carrot is long. We're also doing a beet and a radish, mostly because those colors look great together. But here we have a gorgeous orange. So just find an orange that you like. Don't forget to leave like the little tail off the bottom of the carrot there. And what you're basically doing is with your watercolor, kind of drawing the outline of your shape. Then rinse your brush and just with water, fill that in. Okay, you fill in your shape like a light wash. And then you go back and you're going to drop in your color. Okay, so you're gonna do a little bit of lighter orange, some yellow, and then we have the stems. So the stems, pick a good green. I used my undersea green from Daniel Smith. I also used some sap green. All right, and you're kind of just drawing those vines up, and then just use your brush and kind of just lay your brush down and choop, 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 get yourself some leaf shapes. I mean, this is quick, this is loose, and they're fun. Okay, so you're gonna get that green in there, and when you attach the stem to your watercolor, right, your carrot is still wet. So you wanna bring up, see how I'm dragging my brush up and away from the orange. The orange, I want to run into the stem, the green. I don't want the green to drip down into my carrot, so I'm pulling it upwards a little bit. I did add just a splash of yellow for some brightness there. And now then what I did is I took that yellow and I mixed it in with the green that I had. So I've got two different greens. This is the key to practicing your watercolors, my friends, is to use two different shades on each object. Okay, so we had a couple of different oranges and greens. Now let's start our radish. My radish, I basically use some scarlet and some quinacridone magenta. Just see that loose shape out there, and just a water wash, kind of fill in the insides. And then because it's wet, I can just tap in my color. All right, I like it kind of bright. Remember, they dry so that they're a little bit lighter, but I ended up throwing in some quinacridone rose, just a little bit brighter to the red. Mix that with the scarlet. It's really, really pretty color. All right, same thing. See how I'm pulling up? Pull your vines up. And the perfect example is when I drew that leaf on the right-hand side, that green ran directly into my radish. So a clean brush, like just water on the brush, scooping up that green, almost like drying the radish, the paint there, removes. Remember, watercolor is removable. So a clean brush and a little blot kind of remove the green from bleeding into the radish. Now I'm just going to leave that alone and let it dry, and then I'll come back and add more red. But right now you can see I just kind of did the same thing. Do the outline of your shape, then do a wash inside, and kind of just let them go. All right, let's grab some dioxazine purple and some more of the quin rose. Together, they make a kind of really cool, deep red purple. Perfect for a beet. You know, once I start playing, that's when I kind of decide if I want my beet more red or more purple. Kind of just depends on how my carrot has dried, right? What color is going to work the best? But the same thing, I've got that little tail hanging off there, some deep, this is definitely more purple, full of dioxazine purple, and just doing a wash on the inside. Get it nice and wet, kind of bring the sides in. Remember, just like with coloring when you were little or now, those lines, you don't want to keep things straight across. You want to kind of give them a little U shape to, see that? That little U shape there, to give the illusion of roundness. All right. So on one side, just like on all the vegetables, I kind of have one side a little bit darker than the other. Adding in some red and some purple, I'm going to kind of just let these dry and then add some more layers. Don't forget, when you add your watercolor in for the first time, leave some white space. Leave the little white marks in there. For the beet, if you are like me and you love beet greens, like they're almost my favorite part to eat, you know that the veins are the same color as the beet, right? They're so pretty. The leaves are so pretty. So you're going to bring that purple up and kind of, it reminds me, the shape is, reminds me of a twig in the winter, you know, where all the leaves are off of it. Then you're going to find a green that you like. I think here I used the undersea but lightened it quite a bit. And I'm just going around the outside, okay? And I'm going to do a wash. And I want some of that purple to bleed into the wash, but just a little bit. So don't go over the whole thing with water. Just let the water touch a few of the purple veins that you just did. Now, the other thing that I've learned to do when painting leaves is to figure out which ones I want in the front and which I want in the back. So these two on the side are going to be in front of the one in the back. So I kind of did those first. The one in the back will be a little bit darker, but I also wanted to get that leaf shape in there. It's very loose, it's very freeing. This is not exact. Kind of just getting those in there, bringing the purple up. Remember, you want your leaves to kind of come down at the stem, come down into the vegetable just a little bit, like just a millimeter. And you can put a little, you know, a little smile face right underneath that. And that's going to make your vegetables, again, appear a little more realistic instead of them just sitting right on top. Okay, bring them in, but remember to bring the color of the vegetable up into the leaf, not the green leaf, down into the red. Like on the radish I'm working on. Also remember opposites. Opposites attract. So your complementary color, red and green, they're going to make a perfect neutral tone for you. Even over on the carrot, where there's a lot of orange, which is red and yellow, right? I can still add that green because of the red and get a nice neutral tone. So to shadow, to get your deepest color, don't add black, don't add dark brown, add the complementary color, okay? All right, so now back over to the beets and just doing a heavier outline. I lost a lot of that deeper line on the outside of these, and I need them to show up. So I kind of am just going over, mostly with just pigment, and kind of dabbing in some more green. I like that the purple is showing there. So just a little bit of play, but tread lightly because you don't want to jump in there with a ton of pigment or a ton of water. Then you're just going to kind of have a puddle of nothing. All right. Just kind of look here, I'm adding a little bit more orange. After watercolor dries and you add another layer, you're just taking it to the next step. You're making it a little bit brighter. So, and I wanted I wanted my carrot to be a little bit more orange. It was a tad too yellow. So just mixing up a bit more of the Azo Gold with the Scarlet into my Cad Yellow medium kind of gave me that orange I was looking for. Okay, don't underestimate the power of removal. So I just have a tissue, and by adding just a little bit of water or some of the wet spots, I'm kind of just lifting some of the watercolor off of the page, which is giving me some more depth, right? I want as much light as I want dark. And here I do drag that beautiful dioxazine purple straight up into the leaf. For the most part, they're dry-ish. They are not completely dry, so there's a little bit of bleed, but just enough to keep it kind of whimsical. All right, so I'm just pulling more of the darker color to the side, and I think I'm pretty happy with these. So now I grab my fountain pen and my Daniel Smith walnut ink. Okay, that's what's in this nub. And I'm kind of just going over. It's really, really light. Okay, I didn't want black. I don't want a definite line. You have to really look to see them, see the line. However, it's there and it helped just bring out some things. You'll see here I do some cross hatching, and you'll be able to see that walnut color. You can see how light it is, but I was really happy with the result. Just in my fashion, you do you. I am very loose with my line. I like to be kind of whimsical. So here I'm just kind of basically scribbling my loose line around the leaves. So when you get to see it up close, you can see just a little bit. It's almost like it's such a faint, it's a beautiful color. So if you do like inks, you know, grab that walnut ink by Daniel Smith. It's a good one to have on hand. Like I said, it's very light. I can't really see it on the beat, but I did love it. I love going around the leaves because it is so, what's the word I'm looking for? It's just so very nondescript, but yet it's there. All right, so, and of course, we got to add some white pen. I just felt like it needed, my white highlights weren't quite white enough, so I just grabbed my favorite white gel pen, kind of do some dabbling, some random, just little marks, not really paying attention, just kind of dabbing in there, not thinking, just doing. That seemed a little separated to me, so I wanted to just kind of blend that leaf in. Even after your watercolor's dry, if you hit it with water, they're going to move a little bit, so remember that. All right, so we have the white, and then let's grab a brush and some wet watercolor, and I kind of did a little bit of a red-orange. I didn't use any of the direct colors. I kind of found a happy medium between the two. And just splotch away here. So there's some of the red over next to the purple beet, and there's some of the purple over by the red. And then I was looking at it. If you don't like the dots, just touch them up with a brush or pick it up with your tissue. But I didn't like it just down at the bottom, so I start kind of splatting everywhere. And I'm really happy with the end result. I did not want the splatter marks on the leaves, so I was very careful to kind of immediately blot those off as they went on there. And yeah, kind of just play. Less is more, so do a little, take a look. And there you have it. Watercolor root vegetables.